And we're live, and as I have no consistency in my streams, we're doing something completely different this time around again. Last time I modeled a plane, before that I modeled an asset pack, and before that I can't even remember. Well, anyways. This is not my asset pack. Well, this guy here is. He's not part of the pack. But this is a licensed asset pack by Raoult, and it's called the top-down interior tileset. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can find it. And it is a very nice tileset, as you can see. Very professional, very beautiful, and there's a butt coming, but many of these tilesets are made like the person making them hasn't intended for them to be actually used on old hardware. Or maybe it's just that this particular tileset was intended for a 16-bit console and I'm trying to use it for an 8-bit Game Boy. So there are a lot of adjustments to be made. And I'm just going to walk through some of them. First of all, the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color are a well, actually not the Game Boy, just not the Game Boy Color, just the Game Boy. The Game Boy is a 2-bit color system. It only has 4 shades of green: light, lightest, lighter, dark, and darkest. And what the Game Boy Color does is, as far as I understand it, you get to choose 32 colors out of 4096 you can use on screen across 6 palettes. So every tile has to have a 4-color palette, and you can have 6 of them in the SDK I'm using, which is GUI based. It's called GB Studio. It seems to be very popular. It's well made and takes away a lot of the pain in making Game Boy games, but of course there's still a lot of adjustments to be made. And so far I have the standard Game Boy palette for the grayscale layer, and I have the color layer where I test out if the color ramps are working, if I can make the individual tiles make them work within the constraints of the hardware. So, and I've made a sprite layer so I can place this little guy around here so I can see that the scale fits, because some of these some of this furniture is a little too large for the for the 4x4 sprite that the SDK uses. So I made, for example, I made this bed a little shorter, or I made this wall lower and gave it like this striped tapestry, and what else did I think? Ah yes, the door. The door is also a good example. It would have been way too large for him. Was a 4x1, 2, 3. Oh, a 4x4 door, and now it's a 2x3. So that is working out so far. Ah, Genus is here. Hi, Genus. Yeah, the program. It's Genus just asked me which program I'm using, and it's called Pixel Edit. And it's a work in progress program. There are other programs like Tiled, or the one Astral Junkie recommended to me. I forgot its name, but anyhow, I've learned to use this program. Maybe I'll check some other program later, but for now this is the program we're using. And let's go right ahead. There was something I needed to fix. I accidentally put a lot of oh yeah, I made more than one mistake. I need to relocate a lot of graphics. So I'm going to go ahead and show tile indices. Yeah, that's a problem. So you need to be careful with what you do in this program. Once you assigned one of the tiles to your tile set, all the changes you make in one of these tiles will be copied to every other tile. So if I go ahead and draw a smiley face, here in this assigned tile, they will all appear on all tiles marked as tile number 84 in the tile set, this one. So this does not happen if you do that in an unassigned tile. And now I could go ahead, click here, click Control, and assign this tile as a new tile. And once I've done that, this will apply to this tile as well. Okay. Asia is here. I think Asia is from the GB Studio Discord, and Genos is from the Sega Extreme Discord. That's a Sega Saturn homebrew community with some SDKs that are a little bit harder than the GUI-based GB Studio, which is basically an RPG maker for the Game Boy, and helps a lot if you can code. And the Saturn SDKs, the ones from Sega and the one that NDD is making, are they're hard. So I'm glad I don't have to deal with them, and there's a coder who's helping me out. But today, and I'm not that good in pixel art. I'm just I'm a Blender guy. I like Blender and I'm getting better at it. But I need to get better at this as well. How do I unassign something? Control right click. Ah, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I have made some mistakes and I need to fix them. Problem is I have to click on every single one of these tiles to unmap them so I can properly erase their content. You really want to be aware of the layer you're in, or it's gonna be trouble. Yeah, but I wanna keep tile 0, and there's other tiles as well which I need to unassign. Like there's a lot of them, and I just need to erase my mistakes in life. No, just in this program. Oh god. Yeah, the bounding box in this program it sometimes has a mind of its own. Alright. So now I can go ahead, delete this, and okay, that's why are they unassigned? Confusing. Wait, what? I'm still in the wrong layer. Okay. Yeah, alright. So let's repeat it. What? Come on. Okay. I need to select it. First, I need to go into the right layer so I can see the tile indices, like which tile and title is it. And then I can disassign all of these and go yada yada yada. Select all of this and repeat the process. Oh boy. Let's see. The nice thing about Pixel Edit, unlike Blender where I was doing volumetric clouds, this is not going to wreck my my gaming laptop, which was not meant for streaming and making assets at the same time. Oh wait. Ah dear. Asia just had a very good idea. Just paint over and then delete this. You go. No. Okay, I didn't select anything. I clicked on the remove select. Oh, I did select something. Damn it. Yeah, I deleted the color from the palette and not a tile from the tileset. Ah, yeah, that worked. That worked. So let's go ahead and try this again. So for everybody who doesn't know, a Game Boy has a screen of 160 times 144 pixels, which incidentally is 1/4 of a PAL TV resolution screen. Like a PAL TV screen is 576 pixels by. No, wait. The width of a PAL TV screen is not set. But let's say a standard resolution would be like 640 by 576, and when you have that you get 320 by 288, also called 288p. That's what a lot of consoles will that's the resolution a lot of consoles use, like the N64, the SNES, and so forth. And half of that resolution again is the Game Boy screen. And so you get, oh god, let me calculate. You have tiles of 8 by 8, so you get 20 by 18 tiles, which means 360 tiles on screen, but you can only use up to 192 individual tiles. So I made this 14 by 14 grid, and 14 by 14 is, the power of 14 is 196, so I added 4 additional x's, which nets me 192 tiles. Okay, so that applies only to the SDK GB Studio, because as Asia says, because of how it reserves tiles for actors and the UI. Anyhow, and you get 6 palettes in the SDK. Asia, do you know how many palettes you get for the sprite layer? Because you can have 42 colors on screen, I think. That means technically speak, Asia doesn't know that it's no problem. Technically speaking, you should get 2 additional palettes because I have read that the Game Boy Color only supports up to 32 colors on screen. So, of course, you could reuse palettes from the Game Boy itself, but from the background layer itself, but that's not gonna. Weird. When I open GB Studio, I only see an option for 6 palettes. Maybe I should look again. If I have more than 6 palettes, that would be good. I'll have to check again. Ah, okay. What are the palettes? Aisha says, there's some reserved. That means there's 2 palettes that are reserved. Ah, okay. So that's a GB Studio thing, not a Game Boy thing. Um, I'll have to check in hardware, but for now, in the SDK, I can only use 6 palettes for now, which is fine. I have 5 right here, a brown palette, and 4 mixed palettes. Like one part is brown and black, and then there's blue, red, yellow, and green. For example, the sheets here and the windows are blue and brown. I mean, the pillow and the windows are blue and brown, and the bed sheets are the red and brown palette, and the potted plant and the this jar are the green and brown palette. And here we have the brown and red palette again. And because you have only one layer, which is normal for a 8-bit system, you can't do stuff the tileset expects you to do, like blend the door over the wall, or blend these beds over the floor, or these tables or these chairs. You have to bake them together. And on GB, Asia says, and on GB it's 1 palette for background, right? The 2-bit palette, and 2 for I thought 3 colors for objects. Like 1 is for transparency, and then there are 3 colors. Like okay. So you can choose which color you want to emit from a sprite. But in I think in the GB Studio software, you always omit the second. I think let me check. Yeah, you omit this green, the second darkest green. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's helpful. Okay. I didn't know that. So this guy has this color, and this color available. You can see right here. He has. Let's lose something which you can see. He has one black, two the second lightest green, and then the lightest green available, and in another upgrade that will um, apparently change, but not for now. So let's go right ahead and fix up this kitchen so we get something done today. Am I placing? No, I'm doing it again. Okay. Don't do it again. Go to the green scale. Yeah. Now here we are. Okay. I'm doing this so I can test. I can test that everything is working and aligning well. And I will probably need to do a hardware test in the near future so I can see if anything breaks, because yeah, Aisha just says that Pixelated really needs layer locks. Yes, it definitely does. But maybe there are other programs out there which I haven't tested yet, which would solve that problem. Ah, no, that's the wrong one. Where's the right one? Here we go. Okay. Let's go all the way down here. No, it's this one. And fix this up. There's also a program called Nestmaker, but in one of the tutorials the guy said you still have to fix or enhance some of the engines to really make a full game. There are like different modules similar to GB Studio. GB Studio also has different modules for different genres of games, and on Sega Saturn you you get to basically, there's the easy SDK in air quotes where you basically get a C library, which will help quite a bit. You can't really do 3D games, but 2D games are possible. Except if you're XL2, then you can do basically just just do it yourself. And then there's Yao, which is an open SDK, which is even more low level and can't really do 3D either, I think. So you need to be good at programming or work together with somebody who can program and help them by him not having to worry about graphics, which is what I'm trying to do. Because I don't have the bandwidth to learn to code and learn Blender. And by the way, I can't draw scrap. I can't draw a straight line. So I don't see Blender or 3D modeling as art or it's more like you construct what you want to do, and that's why I like pixel art. It's very much the same. It's made out of building blocks, and you don't really draw. You construct what you do, which for some people may be counterintuitive, but I really like it so far. I've only been able to alter pixel art that's already been made so far, but I have the feeling that I'm learning a lot from the work that he's done, like how he chooses his colors and how he represents wood and how he represents how he bakes light into his objects. Like you can see here, he has this. Everything has a good practice is to have this really dark outline and then basically bake light into the edges. Like here you have a light edge and a dark edge, and this surface is light again, then you get some dark edges, and you can really do a lot if you know what you're doing. And to see if what you're doing is working, you have this little preview window where you can zoom in, in and out, but you can like zoom in just you zoom in, you zoom out more than you do in the window where you're working, so you can see if stuff looks right at the distance you would expect a Game Boy user to look at this stuff. And the reason I'm using two palettes is I want two, not two palettes, but a colored version and a grayscale version, is that I want to see if this will work in Game Boy and Game Boy Color as well. So I need to make sure it doesn't look weird in either system. So let's put in some objects I made so far. You can see that I've baked the kitchen floor into these jars because that's where I want them to go. And I've baked the wooden floor into these flower pots. I've done the same with the bed. And now I can... Oh no, I did it again. Boy. Basically, I've baked the floors I've been expecting the objects to go to. I've matched the objects with the floor I was going for. Like for example, we're going to do this carpet right now, and I am alright, Asia just said I should consider making some cast shadows to obscure the ground. There are some cast shadows like here on these objects, and some objects work on every floor because they fill up the entire tile, but that only really works for like square objects. Maybe I should have done it for this one, but it looks better. Like for the square one, no, but I think it looks better like this. So no, I don't want that one. I want this one. I'm going to color the floor and add the table back in again, and add the chair. This chair wasn't really working because my character obscures it, but with this chair right here, it seems like he's sitting there, but it takes up a lot of space, but it just works a lot better. So let's see. Let's put in another jar. And what didn't I use before? I didn't use this staircase before. Weird, why did I? Never mind. Okay, so the staircase goes right here. Which would look weird in the colored version because it's brown, but I don't know. I guess I'll see if I can fix that later. So I'm looking for objects I could really use. I've got doors, I've got walls, I've got windows. I've got a bed. The chests will most likely be sprites, so you can open them. Ah, yeah, I was missing furniture. And since we're doing a castle-like environment, I'm going to go ahead and That okay, Asia says on the GBC palettes are separate from tiles anyway, so the user could make the staircase any color they want. Yeah, that's true, but you only get 6 palettes, so I'm trying to have like a fixed 6 palette system, so this particular interior tile set works with this sets of palettes. So we'll just see how it goes. And I don't... What... Again, this is a great tile set, but some things I really don't like. Like this is obviously meant to be an 16 by 16 or 8 by 8 square tile set. Something like that. I mean, I think the SNES or the Mega Drive also work with 8 by 8 tiles. And the guy or the gal who made this sometimes really wastes space. Like this here, this is 3 pixels into the next tile. This is 2, and 2 again. It's really a waste of space, and that could you could really save some tiles here if you made things a little more compact, and so that's what I will be trying to do. Like, this doesn't need to be 6 by 6. This is perfectly fine if it's 4 by 4. So let's see. We are 4 tiles. This is 4 tiles too many. And this should be an easy fix. Like, I'll just go ahead and we can save 2 rows right here, and then it was only 3. Was it? Yeah, it was. Okay, well, anyway, let's do that again. And then just erase these legs like this. Yeah, Asia just said I should constrict the tabletop to the top 2 tiles. That's absolutely correct. I was going for that, because if I do that, as Asia correctly said, I can easily swap around tabletops, or I can put items on the tabletops, and if I do that, it won't affect, like, if I place this I don't have the word for it in English, this table right here, I only have to fix the legs to work with wooden tiles, but I don't have to fix this area, and I can use whatever palette I want. I can use whichever objects on that thing I want, and this gives me a lot of freedom. So you ideally want to fill out the entire top. And we're in green scale mode, and what we have to do now is count colors. So we're going from darkest to lightest, so that's really a no-brainer. I always do a black border all around, and this looks like the second darkest color. And I don't think we need two colors right here, one will suffice. Okay. Let's go ahead. Nope, that's not working. I think I know what I want to do. I want to make a light edge right here and then make the wood the second darkest colors like I do a lot of times. But now it really doesn't look that nice. So we will have to mimic part of his original design because I really destroyed his design here. So let's see if I can save this. Oh, which light edge do you mean? Do you mean this light edge or a he has a edge here and he has this cloth with these the bottom one higher. Well then I would have no I would have no space in between the tabletop and the cloth itself. So a bit scrapped for space right here. I could move it down, but that would destroy the symmetry. I'll look at it later maybe and try to fix his design. Yeah, that's definitely true. Isha just said I need to simplify some things, and when working in Game Boy you need to simplify things. You only have 4 colors, so you can't get as luxurious as he does right here. Like, look at this. He has like 3 different colors just to make the top of this shelf look nice and clean, but sometimes you just don't have that luxury with your trusty old Game Boy. So yeah, let's have a look. I don't know. It's not really doing it for me. And this is just a little too bland. Maybe I can mimic this design right here. He was onto something there, I think. He had this design as well, which was also quite nice. I could replicate this as well. But maybe I'm going for consistency and I'm like, I don't know the word for it in English. The pattern of the wood, die Maserung. I'm going to try and replicate that with black. Or do I need to use black? Wood grain, exactly. Let's do that for consistency's sake. No, that's too predictable. I think that works well for now. Right. Now I need to go and fix the shadow right here. And since we haven't used this color at all, I think I will be able to use it right here. That should do it. Maybe I should do this again so it will look noticeably different from the wooden floor, which I'm going to add, right? Or am I? Maybe what wood planks. This highlight one up and this corner one up as well. Only wood planks can have the same width, but they do. You mean one down or one up? I think I'm going to do what Aisha said and like hide the floor with a shadow. Right now, the middle plank is 1 pixel thicker on one side. I don't think this is a like this is a drawer. Like this is the plank like for the table, and then there's a drawer right down here, and it's supposed to be a bit thicker because you're supposed to pull it out, and I've done it exactly the same as you did it here. Like you have this light corner, and the wood grain. I am having a bit of a trouble seeing it, and unlike my colleague, I can't really do a video call, audio call. Yeah, that it's supposed to be asymmetrical because in nature wood is asymmetrical. So right here these are at different heights, and that what I was going for here as well. No. Yeah, sure. Asia said she was going to do an example so I can see what she meant. We're trying to fix some highlights. It looks very dark. Maybe I'm going to go against my better instinct and light this right up. Let's see. Yeah, that looks odd. Maybe if I do it the other way around. If I make this brighter, maybe that works. Yeah, I think it kinda works. Maybe if I add this right here. Nah. Nah, that's. Ah, okay. Not she, but they. Okay, alright. I just assumed by the name because it it ended in A. It sounded like a female name. Alright. So let's see if this works in color as well. Okay. We're going to use brown scale on this. Can I use yellow scale for this? Like the yellow combined with brown. I was doing here. Whoa, that's a strong yellow. If I do this. When I do this, I can make like a gold colored handle right there. Which was kind of what this this fella right here was going for. Alright. But I think this should be working, like on a space of 3 there shouldn't be any wood grain. So I should be able to use this. And now I'm just assigning them to. Sorry. I assigned the wrong layer. I assigned the color layer when I was going for the lower layer, which I have to fix to get the colors right, because I fixed the upper layers. Let's go. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, this program really needs some locks on its on its layers. So I've done the trick, and let's go test it out. Okay. And not assign the wrong layer this time. Right. That was a good idea by Asia to hide the floor beneath the shadow. And because no, that's not really working. It's fine. This should really be fine. And we're at 92 different. Yeah, one thing, it starts counting from 0. And Asia just sent me some versions. Okay, with different shadows and different thicknesses. That's what you meant. She said, they say 2 different ways of doing the shadows legs, and the bottom version replaces the edge highlight with more shadow to really show the thickness of the table. Yeah, I see that, but I personally get the feeling that it's too. It seems too thick to me. It seems more like a workbench in a carpenter's shop than like a table you would use in a home environment. If I make this too if I make this edge 2 pixels thick, then it would be just as thick as the draw itself, and that it seems a little too thick to me. I must say I like it the way he does it, like outline, uh, shadow corner or light corner in my case, and then the top. He does it for all for the entirety of the tile set, and I'd have to change it everywhere. Like he does it. Here he doesn't do it, but this seems okay because the top of a bookshelf seems like it should be thicker. So he even does it here for this large table. So I think I'm going to stick to his design and trust the pixel artist on that. Edge highlight right next to the well, it maybe it's weird because for for palette reasons I've I've switched. He uses a dark edge on the bottom and a light atop, and I do just the reverse because of how my palettes work. Because I've assigned the two darkest colors to brown and the two lightest colors to the other colors, and that might not work out because now my light doesn't consistently fall. Like here the light is on top, just like on this box and on the bed, but here the light comes from the side. Yeah, I might have to reconsider because you're right. I'm going against the design he's done so far. Can I do that? Let's see. I'll do the light. Wait. I'll do the light red on top, and then do the dark brown on the bottom. I think it looked better before, but in the non-colored, in the greenscale version, it looked very dark. So this, okay, not again. This. Let's see how this does it. Yeah, it looks very bright. How am I breaking with conventions? Maybe I need to swap these two colors around. Okay, I should say generally on GBC games the artists don't dedicate an entire color to the floor background. Instead they make the objects bigger. So there's only a little of it visible, so they can get away with using a midtone of the wrong color there. Maybe, but I'm not quite sure I completely follow, but maybe my problems are coming from the fact that I'm trying to do both at the same time. Like I'm trying to have two versions and have the game work in two different color spaces. Maybe I could switch these two. Yeah, that could really be the problem. So Asia says I'm leaving too much of the floor visible, which I should not be doing. And they could absolutely be right. Like if I change the bed so there's one tile down and then make a shadow here and hide something here, a lot could be done. Like this table really doesn't need to have this outline. It could just fill the entire space, so I only have to worry about the legs. And I could probably also make the legs have a lot more shadow than they do now. Like basically have almost the entire area of the legs be shadow and leg. That's definitely something to consider. It might not work everywhere because even if I scale this vase up, it still won't work. But for a lot of other use cases like this tabletop or this tabletop, this I should be able to use more than two brown tones on this tabletop to make this work and just eliminate the rest of the red. So Aisha just showed me an example from Pokemon, and I can see what they're doing, but that is sometimes I did notice and it bothered me. So but that's correct. It shouldn't be a problem. Like put if I put black all the way around here, this should not be a problem. I should be able to use proper brown scale on the entire top. Yeah, that's probably better. Something like this. Yeah, what Asia says is absolutely true. You probably can get away with 1 or 2 pixels in the wrong color. Nobody will really notice. I still have to fix these the staircase as well. Which might fix a lot of my problems. And I could. Well, I actually like the fact that I have the opportunity to have 2 different colors on one tile, because that's not something you see a lot in Game Boy games, and it kind of shows. It also shows um, in many NES games. So I think I want to keep the uh, the uh, the the split palettes for some instances, because stuff like this where it goes over into the blue, I like that because it 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 breaks up the scene. Well, Asia just said limiting it more also frees up more palettes to use for different things. Right now, you have to have a brown plus red palette, which means that unless you have multiple brown plus something palettes, you can't have this table on the wooden. That's true, but I do have multiple brown plus something palettes. I have the brown scale, and I have the brown plus blue, yellow, red, and green, and it's kind of working for me because it it breaks up the scene. I know let's just say it's working so far, because I can do stuff like this where like the pot goes over into the floor, because I have the brown scale down here and the brown plus green up here, and it looks more natural to me. And I can do neat combinations like this bed plus sheets in different colors, plus the windows on the patterned tapestry. Yeah, I can see that brown plus green is a common combo because you need it for trees. Isha says, but brown plus red and brown plus yellow and brown plus blue is just overkill. Yeah, I need the brown plus blue because the tapestry looks so nice with it, and the windows and the bed. But I don't know if I really need the red plus brown. Maybe I do, but I haven't really. Well, I have found a use for the brown plus yellow. I guess maybe brown plus red and brown plus yellow are overkill. I'll have to see in the process. Because I see what Asia says here. I'm losing a lot of colors. Like I'm losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. Maybe, well, let's say 4, maybe 4, because the black is basically always going to be the same black. Like I think having the same black in every tile is important because it's the outline color. But I'm losing important colors by having to have the second darkest color always be a brown, a shade of brown. I'm trying to make a tile set which was probably clearly intended for a 16-bit console with, like, I don't know, 9 colors on a sprite, fit for something which only has 4 colors in a sprite. Yeah, it just says you're using 5 pallets for this scene and you're getting very little mileage out of them. Yeah, that's probably true. I'll have to see how it looks in the end. Maybe I have to make some changes for this to work better. But for now, I think I'm going to call it a day. And I don't know if I'm going to do this on the next stream or something else. And then we'll see what I do next. Maybe it's going to be Saturn related or something in Blender. I don't know yet. But I'm happy that Asia could be on, and she was. They were very helpful. A lot of good tips because I'm not really good at pixel art yet and palette management. And also Genus. I don't know if the second viewer right now is Genus. from the Sega Extreme community. But I guess um I will be seeing you next time. Okay. I'll I'll just read what Asia has to say. Roiku is the other viewer. Uh, I haven't seen him before. I don't know from which community he is. Okay, Aces is, from what I've seen of commercial games, they seem to start with palettes for specific objects in the scene and then one or two palettes just for transitions where the basic palettes won't work, and each of these transition palettes can actually cover more than one transition type, but by being clever with the tiles the palettes are applied to. It's only valid for GBC exclusive games. On the basic Game Boy, you limit to one transition type per palette. And Roiku is a Game Maker 2 user. Yeah, I must say the programming on retro consoles is hard for artists to get into. Like, I don't want to throw shade at anybody, but there's a lot of programmers and they do a lot of technically impressive stuff, and they again, I don't want to throw shade, but it seemed to put a lot of focus on that and not on like how the game is going to look. And for artists, without the help of a program, it's just impossible to get into some of these systems because they're so uh, hard to handle. And so I just wish there would be more collaborations because one person can't cover an entire team. Like, uh, I think there are like three main pillars for something when you want to do homebrew. It's just my perspective, and I'm not a professional. You need a good programmer to get stuff into the machine. You need to have somebody who can get something to be put on screen, like for mid 90s consoles or early 2000 consoles like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. That's somebody who can wrangle with Blender or texture something or unwrap something, or either pre-rendered or textured, if you can call it texturing, what they're doing on those old consoles. And for the earlier consoles, you need to have somebody who can handle pixel art. Although there are some really good licensed pixel art assets, there aren't really that many good. There's very little good assets for the mid 90s to early 2000s consoles. And royalty free music, like licensed music, it's a little hard to find good licensed music. I've had some success recently, but music is probably the hardest thing to do. Like, I'm lucky because I'm working on Saturn, and Saturn can play basically anything you can put on a normal CD. It's just Redbook audio, but if you try to have like chiptunes, what people imagine chiptunes to be is things that bleep and bloop, but it's you have to actually design instructions for each individual sound chip, and there's stuff like Deflamask which makes this easier, but your SDK has to support Deflamask. Like I think the Mega Drive SDK does support the VGM format that Deflamask can produce, but GB Studio wants mod files, so you have to use older programs, which is difficult. And designing a whole new sound hardware is for a GB Studio which could use VGM is a challenge in and by itself. So at least when it comes to sound, like CD and DVD based systems are so much more thankful to work with, because you can just use any tracker, make any file, and just produce WAV or a standard container format and just let it stream from the disk. So Asia writes, most PSX era stuff was textured, not too many games relied solely on vertex color. Yeah, that's true, but when you've worked with Saturn, what you do with texturing today, you can't UV unwrap on a Saturn. Each of these goddamn faces is basically a sprite, and you have to have a squarish or rectangular texture, which has to be a multitude of 8 on one side to go on each of these faces, which of course gets distorted. So that's a whole new can of worms. Like N64 users really have it good because they have UV unwrapping. 3D modeling without UV unwrapping is hard. That's what I meant with yeah, you're right. Asia's just said still texturing just annoying. Yeah, that's what I meant with that's what I meant. I didn't mean it's just vertex colored. I meant it's they had very creative ideas of what texturing means in the early 90s, like on 3DO and the Saturn. Yeah, and they also say the for the retro hardware, it must be format compatible. Yeah, that's true. Like you have a specific sound chip, and you have to have uh, you have to give instructions to that sound chip, because that sound chip produces, like, you just give instructions to the sound chip because that, so you save space, and then it's basically a mini synthesizer on a chip that produces the sound. But in later consoles, disc-based consoles, you can just stream from the disc, and it makes stuff so much easier. But you lose something in the process, because the original sound of the console gets dropped, which is a little sad, but there are always trade-offs. So But I'm going to close the stream for now and say goodbye, and thank you to all who stayed on for so long. And maybe I'll see you next time for some Sega Saturn or Game Boy stuff or whatever. So, good night.